Take a look at the pencil in your hand. It's one of the simplest tools ever made. No batteries, no screens, no moving parts. Yet it has written novels, solved equations, and sketched ideas that changed the world. But have you ever stopped to wonder how something so ordinary is actually made? From raw materials pulled out of the ground to the smooth, precise lines it creates on paper, the journey of a pencil is more complex than it seems. Today, we're breaking down how pencils are made and how they became one of the most reliable tools in human history. Right here on History of Simple Things. The story of the pencil begins in the 1500s in Borrowdale, England, where a massive deposit of solid graphite was discovered. At the time, people thought it was a form of lead, hence the term pencil lead, which we still use today even though there's no actual lead involved. Early users simply cut the graphite into sticks and wrapped them in string or sheepskin for easier handling. As graphite supplies became more valuable and harder to shape, innovation followed. In the late 1700s, French inventor Nicolas Jacques Conté developed a method of mixing powdered graphite with clay and firing it in a kiln. This allowed manufacturers to control the hardness of the pencil lead, a breakthrough that's still used today. Soon after, wooden casings were added, creating the familiar pencil design we recognize now. Despite what many people think, pencils don't contain lead. The core is actually a mixture of graphite and clay. Graphite is a naturally occurring form of carbon known for its slippery texture and ability to leave marks on paper. Clay, on the other hand, is used to control hardness. The process starts by grinding graphite into a fine powder. This powder is then mixed with clay and water to form a thick paste. The ratio of graphite to clay determines how hard or soft the pencil will be. More graphite results in a softer, darker pencil, like a 2B or 4B, while more clay produces a harder, lighter pencil, like an H grade. Once the mixture is ready, it's carefully blended until smooth and consistent, ensuring that every pencil writes evenly without breaking or crumbling. The graphite clay paste is then pushed through a machine called an extruder. Think of it like squeezing toothpaste, but instead of a blob, it comes out in long, thin rods. These rods are cut into precise lengths, usually slightly shorter than the final pencil. Next comes the drying process. The rods are placed in controlled environments to remove moisture, which prevents cracking later on. After drying, they're fired in a kiln at extremely high temperatures, often over 1,000 degrees Celsius. This step hardens the cores and gives them their final strength. To improve smoothness and writing quality, the hardened rods are sometimes dipped in wax or oil. This helps the pencil glide more easily across paper and reduces friction while writing. While the core is being made, the outer body of the pencil is prepared separately. Most pencils use softwood, especially incense cedar, because it's durable, lightweight, and easy to sharpen without splintering. Logs are cut into thin wooden slats, about the length of a pencil and a few millimeters thick. These slats are then treated and dried to ensure stability. After that, grooves are carved into each slat. These grooves will hold the graphite core. Each slat is precisely machined so that the grooves are evenly spaced. This step is crucial because it determines the alignment of the pencil's core, which affects how it writes and sharpens later on. Now comes the part where everything comes together. The graphite rods are carefully placed into the grooves of one slat. Then a second slat, also grooved, is glued on top, sandwiching the cores in place. This creates what looks like a wooden sandwich. Once the glue sets, the block is ready to be shaped into individual pencils. Machines cut and carve the block into the familiar hexagonal or round shapes we recognize. At this stage, the pencils are still plain wood. They're functional but far from finished. The shaped pencils are sanded to create a smooth surface, then coated with multiple layers of paint. Interestingly, the classic yellow color became popular in the late 1800s because it symbolized high-quality graphite from Asia, particularly China. After painting, brand names, logos, and grade markings like HB or number 2 are stamped onto the pencil using heat or foil stamping techniques. If the pencil includes an eraser, a small metal band called a ferrule is attached to one end. The eraser itself is inserted into the ferrule and crimped tightly to hold it in place. Not all pencils have erasers, but for many people it's an essential feature. Before pencils are boxed and shipped, they go through quality checks. Manufacturers test for strength, smoothness, and consistency. The core must be centered, the wood must sharpen cleanly, and the writing should be even from start to finish. Defective pencils are removed while the rest are packaged into sets and prepared for distribution. From there, they're shipped around the world, ready to be used in classrooms, offices, and art studios. What makes pencils fascinating isn't just how they're made, it's how little they've changed. The same basic design, perfected over centuries, still works incredibly well today. No updates, no software patches, just a reliable tool that does exactly what it's supposed to do. From a chunk of graphite in 16th century England to a precisely engineered writing instrument, the pencil is proof that even the simplest objects can have surprisingly deep stories behind them. And the next time you pick one up, you'll know you're holding a small piece of history, crafted through a process that's been refined for hundreds of years. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.